He literally showed up to the plane because they were going somewhere. He's like a freaking kid who's trying to catch the party bus after
on vacation.
Right, after being on punishment for 2 weeks. Like, bruh, take your butt back home. Like, you didn't come to practice.
And stay there.
Exactly. You was not here for preseason. You was nowhere to be found. Go back home. We're going to figure out this later, but you're not making this trip with us because you're already messing up the team's energy, our synergy. Like, this man is just acting a fool. But it's the HR Podcast. It's the HR Podcast. Right, everybody up, no lick backs. Hey, it's the HR Podcast. No voicemail, no callbacks. It's the HR Podcast. Right, everybody up, no lick backs. Yeah, it's the HR Podcast. It's the HR Podcast. Yo, what's good? It's your boy VA. That's AJ, and this is the HR Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. How you been, AJ?
HR Podcast, man. Ready to get another good episode in. Feeling good. Family's good. Glad everything's good on your side.
Exactly. That's what we want, man. The same over here. Everything's been rocking and rolling. 2 kids got me moving, but I'm ready to get this episode in. Like we always do, we're going to jump into that contender segment first.
Ding, ding.
And first topic we got today is going to be, we're going to switch it up a little bit. You know, we're going to keep it with the NFL like we usually do, but we're going to talk about the MVP and the MVT after 7 weeks. Swiping left or right on this one, AJ.
It's going fast.
It is.
Oh, we're swiping right.
Yep.
It's a fast season so far for me, but maybe just life in general. But
Right. Crazy time. So, actually, I'm going to let you start this one off as far as what's going to be your NFL MVP and MVTs after 7 weeks.
Okay, cool. Well, the way I'm seeing it as of right now, some of the teams that I assume to be at the top are there,
right?
Obviously. But when I'm looking at an overall team, I'm going to start with the MVT first,
right.
Most valuable team.
Right.
I'm still going to go with the Eagles. I feel like they are getting on track to being how they were last year with their team identity.
Right.
And who was they played last week?
Did they lose? No, they won. They got their mojo back. That was against Miami.
They won and they blew them.
Blew them out. They did.
And
2-score game.
Miami was a contender for me to be up there in that top conversation for most valuable team. A couple of people got hurt or whatever, but still they handled their business. Yeah. And then they are known for that 4th and 1, 3 and 2 play that they just give the ball to Jalen Hurts. Everyone pushes him from the back, and no one can figure out. Everyone tries to emulate it and copy it, but they haven't figured it out because they can't be successful with it. But as far as the overall team, I'm definitely going to say the Eagles. The 49ers are a close second.
Right.
And then on the other side, Baltimore has been playing good, but I'm going to say the Eagles when it comes to the team. When it comes to the most valuable player, MVP, that's when it gets tough, man. For me, the most valuable player kind of ranks off the whole team's going. Defense don't get a shout out like they usually should. So you got to look to the offensive players. Usually goes to a quarterback or something like that. But
we ain't standing over here though. We going for the real. It could be a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep it real.
Right.
I'm keeping it real. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that it is either A, Tyreek Hill, who I'm leaning towards just because of his stats this year, breaking out. Everybody knew he was capable.
I think he said he might get the first 2,000 yard. He's on track to get like the first 2,000 yard reception.
He had like the most. I forgot the stats and separately, but it was in the first 7 games he had the most
ever
productivity ever.
It's ridiculous,
and it was like by a landslide. Yeah. But I also like the way that Baltimore's been playing, and I'll put Lamar in that conversation as well. And that's just what I seen. But number one, it's got to be Tyreek Hill, the cheetah.
Yeah. It's hard not to have him there, honestly. I'm going to start with the most valuable team like you did. This is not easy. Just because I've seen multiple teams that I thought were juggernauts fall to lesser teams that they had no business losing to. Every team in the NFL.
Take them out of the conversation.
I mean, it's getting ridiculous at this point, especially the Bills. I mean, they're playing tonight, so maybe they can redeem themselves, but they have fallen. San Francisco has lost 2 in a row, and they're on the verge of losing the third one now that Brock Purdy is in concussion protocol, so there's no guarantees on him. Eagles, I would think to have them top like you did, but again, Jalen Hurts is not playing like he was last year. The tush push is still rolling though, so you gotta give them credit for that as a team.
When I push, you push,
right.
you push.
And they've been having some injuries too that led to them probably losing that game. So, I mean, when we look to the Chiefs, to me the Chiefs are still rolling. They haven't lost since they still just lost that one game, I think.
I'm not sure what their record is. I think they're 2.
But then I'm looking at the Ravens, how they played. Like that Lamar Jackson game was just magical. I mean, the way they rolled over that team, it was like they had no business on the field with them.
He was an afterthought. Up until this point of the season.
And Detroit has been rolling. They've been good on offense and defense until last week. Exactly. They got all the way exposed. I think they lost 2 games now because they weren't undefeated. I
think so.
So all those top teams that I have as the top have now kind of fallen. Same with Miami. He kind of fell off for me. So I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs. I mean, until I see them fall off or fall and have a real dramatic loss, I'm going to have to keep them at number 1. I think Eagles still close to, Cowboys still trailing behind at 3 or 4, depending on how San Francisco do this week. But number 1 right now, I'm going to have to go with Chiefs still until they show me otherwise. For the MVP, we're going to go with... It's another hard one. Like you said, it's been some magical performances. I know people even had Brock Purdy in there for a minute, which I knew he was going to fall back to earth. It's like, come on, man. He's system quarterback all the way.
Yeah, but he's so stacked all the way around.
I'm saying,
on the team level.
They're stacked.
It should be easy for him to be successful.
Exactly. We're going to see how Sam Darnold do. But I think, just to kind of pick one, I'm going to have to go with... I'm going to go a little unconventional here. I'm going to go with Myles Garrett. I know he ain't going to win, but he has the second highest sack total in the game right now. I think at 6 or 7. He has been affecting not only the pass rush, but he's been on special teams, blocking field goals, extra points. Like, man is out here getting it. Like,
just that one play I saw last week of him blocking the field goal, jumping over the line. I was like,
that's effort. Yeah. And they're doing this with a team that don't really got a solidified quarterback because Deshaun Watson ain't what he used to be, not yet. He's still kind of hurt. So they got a backup in there trying to get it done. They really, they ain't had no business winning that game against San Francisco, not with a backup. And they went in there and dominated. Yeah. So I know it's unconventional, but I got him as my number 1.
That's fair. Again, like I said, I don't think people get enough credit on the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
So, and he's up there with, a small group of elite players that do that every single game.
Facts. All right, so let's move on to the next one. We got Reebok Reebok rebranding. They now have Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal, Superman, and
the big Shaq,
right, and the answer AI,
Big Shaq Diesel,
Allen Iverson as the new president and vice president of the organization. First signing they had is the notorious Angel Reese, big baller, shot caller. Don't care if you're at the White House. I don't care who he is. I might not be there. I might not. if I feel like it.
Man. And he keeping it in the family too with the LSU.
Right. I mean, it's huge.
Cool.
It's huge.
That's really
like,
cool.
I mean, that brand has been an afterthought. So I think they really can revive it. We swiping left or right on this one.
I mean, I hate to say it, we're gonna swipe left. It's Reebok we're talking about.
Right.
And it'll be really hard for them to be successful, even with those two big names and taking the helm of things.
Right.
I mean, Iverson was already Reebok, and that's probably the last time I myself wore a pair of Reeboks. Right. That's a long time ago. And, I wish them well. I probably ain't gonna buy any. Even when they fell off, they still had a little bit of following when CrossFit was under Reebok, and because they're a strong following, they follow whatever company's in for CrossFit, but they ain't there no more.
Yeah.
And as I look around on people's feet, checking out the shoes and the footwear, and I ain't seeing no Reebok, bro. Yeah,
it's like a niche market at this point. Like, you see some classics. I've seen people wear the AIs like every year. Like, them are kind of like J's. They got a bunch of colorways. But I don't know any other classic Reebok shoes that are still like being remade and like just the classics. Exactly. Right. Facts. All right, so on to the next one. We got Wemby. The Wemby era has officially begun in San Antonio. Just last night we had Dallas Mavericks versus San Antonio Spurs. Wemby got into some foul trouble, still ended up with 15 points, had 9 points in the fourth quarter alone, which is clutch time. We already know. We swiping left or right on this one, AJ?
Oh, we swiping right on Wemby, San Antonio.
Right.
That's
where
here.
You at.
We swiping
New
right.
hometown for you. Yeah. So I'm gonna start this one off. Wemby, I'm not gonna lie, even with the foul trouble, he was very impressive for me. He had a nice block on Kyrie, which was his only block for the game. But I'm gonna chop a lot of this up to him not getting to play as many minutes due to the foul trouble. But he played. He showed a lot of versatility on defense. Better. I mean, he's very quick. He could be in the corner, and then all of a sudden he's at the top of the key blocking somebody's shot, and that's within one step. Out. It's crazy. And trying to shoot over this man is like a block shot of its own. Like you can't even see him sometimes, depending on how close. I mean, you can't see the rim because he's in the way. But
that's because he's so skinny. It's kind of like, dang, he turned sideways.
Right? Is that the goal? Like, nah. Like, it's really something watching him play. I mean, a couple things I picked up on though was him using the perimeter as his safe haven. It's like he did not want to get into the paint. I mean, I'm chop it up to that's his playing style when he was overseas.
Yeah.
But he got to adapt. I'm going to give him time. No, I'm not going to fault him for it now, but he got to adapt. That's fair. You got to use your height to your advantage. Like, I think the best person that uses their height in the NBA right now is Nikola Jokic. Like, dude barely has to jump. He's hitting floaters, little hooks, like it's nothing.
He uses his body
very well. And he uses that sight that I think Wemby has some of that sight too. Maybe not that passing ability, but he has a very high IQ. You can tell. He knows his spots. He knows where to be on the court. He had moments where he was looking like KD out there. Short corner shots, mid-range. Like, he just didn't have enough opportunities because of the foul trouble. What did you see when you watched the game?
So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get to watch the entire game right? But at the end of the day, when I follow back up on the highlights and on the follow-up, Wemby's impressed me. I mean, it's game one, right? In the preseason, he did very well. Game one, he did fairly well. He's still going. It's going to have to take some time for me to actually give my blessing for the Wemby. But at the end of the day, like you said, I think that he's gonna have not trouble necessarily, but he's gonna have a hard time adapting to the NBA style of play, only because he's still gonna be the tallest person on the court. But there's some people that are within literally inches of him. Right. And they got some size, they got some muscle. And so I think that's why he plays on the perimeter, is he feels safer out there. Like you said, it's a safe haven for him. But, you know, let me pause right there. First, I want to retract and say, you know, I'm glad he got a regular haircut and cut that mess off, because he was following us. What is his name? Jeremy Sochan, coloring his hair. So anyway, I digress. But anyway, back to that. His safe haven is on the outside, but he needs to be, if he's a 5, he needs to be within the paint radius of the court.
At least.
Number one, on the offensive side, he's going to have to get offensive rebounds in order for their team to have success. Because they're not making every shot. Yeah, they're professional players. They're not making every shot. He's the biggest player. He's expected to get rebounds. On the defensive side, if he is out on the perimeter, again, he's not available for rebounds, but more so, he's there to block shots. So he's going to have to stay within that boundary of like the paint extended, like free throw line extended around.
Depends on who he's guarding though. They got so many stretch centers now that it's you could be out on the perimeter.
True. I mean, length is length, but Wemby's impressed me. I'm not going to lie. Again, it's just one game in the regular season because there's a big difference between preseason and regular season. But they're going to have to figure out where he's going to be utilized on the court and how to get him up and down the court. There's a few times he got a couple fast breaks, he got a couple dunks, and he looked good, man. Like usually when I seen him before he was in the NBA, he had that like baby deer movement. It was like, I'm unsure about you, bro, the way you're moving. And he still has glimpses of that, and it's because I'm gonna chalk it up to he's so long that it's gonna look off. But he's doing good. Kudos to Wemby, for real.
Yeah, I mean, it really was, for me, not the best opening night, not like a LeBron type opening night. But like I said, given the foul trouble, it was enough to where you could see he has a lot of potential. I think he's going to be here for a long time. But right now, there's definitely things teams can do to expose him.
Dallas, matter of fact, my bad. Dallas, matter of fact, they was practicing. They had done some practices specifically for Wemby's size, using these like huge long arm foam type deals, trying to like get in people's face and shoot over them. So I mean, yes, that's only emulating, right? But I mean, it's crazy they having to bring out those like extra long ones. They have always used like the little arm ones, but they using the extra long Wemby arms, you know, to adjust to their shooting and all that. So.
And I mean, honestly, he's this foul trouble thing is not going to go away, not for a while, because he's a shot blocker. You could see, like, you could get him with a pump fake easily. He wants to throw your shot. Like he's a gamer. He gets energy from it. He definitely is competitive, but you can get him in foul trouble easily. A couple of shot fakes. Yeah. I mean, he was making some dumb fouls. Some of it, you know, the refs are just ridiculous with the whistle nowadays. But like, it was just.
But he's gonna get those calls later. Those little fouls, they're gonna go Wemby's way because he's that big of a name.
Exactly. And I mean, but it's kind of like, you know, they wanted to like stick it to him like, hey, you might be number 1 pick, but we're gonna still ref you like we do these other little rookies that come up in here. Like, that's what it kind of felt like. Exactly. You ain't earned it yet. You ain't earned them calls yet. I mean, even LeBron, he still seems like he ain't earned the respect of the whistle, because he be driving to that paint and just be getting murdered sometimes, and it just like they don't see nothing.
I put that on him though, because he went through that flopping syndrome.
Yeah, you true. I mean, some of that is on him, but I can't wait to see more from him. And I mean, Luka and Kyrie daggered him. It was dope to see that as a Mavericks fan. Yeah. But you know that
Luka had a triple double.
So, but I mean, I think, and after the game, he walked off the court, didn't even shake nobody's hand. I don't know if I like that or not, but I can respect it though, because that means he's taking it seriously. He's pissed off he didn't play well, you know. Yeah. So I would have that and be like, you know, all buddy with everybody, hugging them. Like, nah. Foreign players are a little bit different in general. They seem to be a different breed. Giannis is like that, you know. On to the next one. We got Steve Smith and Jerry Judy beefing. This was probably the most unlikely beef I could have saw for 2023. Especially since Jerry Judy and the Broncos ain't this jack squat for him to be saying anything about anybody to anybody. Like, bruh. Steve Smith, all-time legend, especially at his height and size. A straight-up dog. Exactly. Straight-up dog. I didn't see him dominate some of the best corners in the league. And Jerry Judy is a great young talent, but is very unproven and has no business being in this conversation, honestly. But they beefing. I mean, Steve Smith went off on him. It's been something crazy. We swiping left or right on this one?
We're going to swipe left, man. I do want to say that I get the old heads in the game, right? They have that respect for me to at least hear their opinion, right? But at the same time, it's like, let the kids play. I have not seen Steve Smith move like for a wide receiver and see if he still got it. And he doesn't need to. He don't need to show nobody because of what he did, right? And so I also feel like there's a certain respect level that the people that are in the game now should uphold for those players that came before them. But again, the main thing is Jerry Judy, I want to say, is overwhelmingly a flop so far since he's been in the league. It's been 3 years now. Yeah, overwhelming. And it's also entirely not all his fault. Yeah, they haven't had a solid QB there to get him the ball, especially with Russ. But at the same time, like, you know, show a little respect. If you are balling out, then let your game show it. But if you're not even in the conversation with all these other receivers, like, bro, just keep quiet. Just keep quiet.
Right.
But anyway, I'm gonna move it left.
All right. Next, we got Dwight Howard, former NBA player. Sexual assault allegations running wild. One in particular has caught mainstream's eye. We swiping left to right on this one?
We're swiping right. Dwight Howard, NBA champion. Dwight Howard, defensive player of the year.
Multiple times.
Dwight Howard, Superman, dunk champion. Dwight Howard, Taiwan now. Wow. I'll let you run with it first.
I mean, where do I begin? I mean, it's like finding that one breadcrumb that ties everything together. It's like finally gets you home and you're like, oh, I see all the other ones now that I missed. Like, that's why I feel like we're at with Dwight Howard, because there's a lot of videos going around of him doing a lot of suspect behavior that didn't just start now. That's been going on.
That's true.
And it's now coming to light. And the most troubling thing about these allegations should be the fact that he's being accused of sexually assaulting a man and making him, well, forcibly touching that man's private parts without his consent, and then performing oral sex on this man again without his consent. And holding him down.
See, I don't know the details of the story.
It's pretty bad.
I tried to look into them, but I will say that a few years back when he was playing in Atlanta, there was these allegations starting then. Right. To me, in all of this, the biggest thing for me is that he denied it then.
Right.
But now he's publicly saying that he wants the civil suit dropped because it was consensual. Which means if it was consensual, that means that you knew, then you were aware that you were doing it. And
and that was the point I was getting to, was that now you're good. You introduced it well. So that was my point, is that everyone should be focusing on the fact that he's being accused of rape. But instead, the focus has been on the fact that this man, like you said, it came out with his lawyers saying this was consensual, which means he's not denying that he did this stuff. Just that it was, agreed upon. It was consensual.
Which
it shows you
which to me,
I'm just saying it shows you like how backwards our society is and how like Twitter memes it runs the world. Because again, if this was just an allegation about a man raping a woman, it would be like it would be so much hate put on him for being a rapist, which as he should if it's true. But now the focus is on the man possibly being gay, which does not really matter. It has nothing to do with the situation. It's an afterthought as to the allegations of what he actually did. And it was I didn't even mention there was a third party in there that the other guy didn't agree on. It was a transvestite, a man dressed in a woman's clothing. So it's just so much to unwrap here. But go ahead, what you're saying. I was just saying I just thought how ironic that was that everyone's focusing on him being gay, possibly, and not on the fact that he could be a rapist and a serial one at that. Because again, these allegations are not just popping up. Like this is.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, because they're going around raping everybody out here. No, but going back to it, what I'm thinking, like, if that's the way you roll, that's the way you roll, right? But to me, my thing is that you lied about it up front, and it has been for years that you lied about it, and now that there's a lawsuit that's still not dropped and you're wanting it dropped, now you're saying that it was consensual. So that's kind of my
he's been
my
denied this stuff in the
it.
past, like this. So you're right.
And to me, I mean, like you said, the world is warped on the way they look at things because 15, 20 years ago, Kobe Bryant, right? With those type of allegations, and it's happened to multiple players, but they made it a huge deal. They made it a huge deal, and so if they make it that huge of a deal, why not now? I mean, yes, Dwight's out of the league. He's playing over there in Taiwan. If he is still now, I don't even know. I'm sure I wouldn't doubt it if they put a hold on him over there. I doubt it. But to me, it's a big deal too because it's Dwight Howard. Like Dwight Howard was at the top of the big man game for a while, like respectably so. And when it's hard to go over the whole top 75 player thing that he was left off of, but I hate to say it, it's probably because of little things off the court like this that they take into consideration.
Goofy stuff.
Because when it's coming down to the game, he should have beat some of those people that are on there. In my mind,
he should have beat Dame, honestly, and because he had a championship at that time too. That this list came out.
Dame's still zero-less. And not that he couldn't be because he's zero-less, because there's Charles Barkley, right? But still, like, Dwight Howard is one of the best big men to play the game. Like, easily. Top 10 ever.
Easily.
And so, if he's top 10 big men, he's got to be top 75. But let him do what he wants to do. Be truthful about your stuff. And, I mean, whatever happens out, I'm sure all of America or the world is going to find out now that it's publicly admitted to.
Right. No, facts. And on top of that, the irony, because the other, I'm sure he's not the only, we know he's not the only one, but it's like, when I think about this allegation, I think of immediately Karl Malone, another top 10 center who I think when he was 30, he got a 14-year-old pregnant. Like, bruh, like what is going on? And the fact that we didn't even know nothing about this until way later in life, like way after he retired. I mean, obviously people knew because it was a story back then, but it shows you how easily it was able to be pushed under the rug because there was no social media that existed back then.
That is
so many things that these players and athletes have done that was just pushed under the rug because of the times that now, thankfully, are getting light. Because there's no way a gay man would have been able to get traction on an athlete of Dwight's caliber. Even though he's not in the NBA, he's still a high caliber player or going to be a Hall of Famer. And
it's a touchy situation though, because I'm just bringing it up because there's a bunch of females that are hang around these dudes, and the expectations of what they want out of the relationship or time that they have together You know, are they just trying for the money? Are they making these allegations for the money to pay out, get a little something out of it while they're there? Right. That's why they're saying these things. That could be going on with this situation with Dwight and this dude. But, I mean, I don't know. It sets a new precedent for the other side of things, right. Like being with a gay dude, you know? So, I don't know. That's I don't know a lot about that. So, we'll just leave it at that.
All right, so on to the next one. We got our last contender topic of the day. The Western Conference Finals from 2023 rematch. I guess, no, that's 2022 that would have had. No, that was 2023, yeah. Rematch. LA versus the Denver Nuggets popped off opening night of the NBA season, 2023-2024. Everybody was expecting AD and LeBron to get their lick back for last year. Instead, they got licked. Quite aggressively, I should add.
Oh, my God.
Like a dog with a new toy. Just tearing it up. Just tearing it up. First off, we swiping left or right on this one, man.
We swiping right. I'll take it.
Okay, go ahead, pop it off.
So, number one, got to give credit where credit's due. The Nuggets are a very good team. The Nuggets have been a very good team for years. Yeah. They just had a lot of injury. They won a championship. Right. They beat the Lakers. They crushed the Lakers. They just beat them. They crushed them. And over this entire time, since they've been celebrating the parade, there's been a lot of poke at the Lakers. And I think it's deservable.
Mike Malone. Who's your daddy?
Mike Malone.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? They just started them chants during the game. And game one of the season. That hurt. But you know what? They deserved it. Because like you said, that they said they were going to come back. LeBron had said some slick comment about
I'm the sun.
Yeah, basically that
light always shines.
That everybody's gonna get theirs when it's time. Basically, is what he said. And bro, when is it time, right, to show that to the world, right? Now, quick topic on that. Anthony Davis had 17 in the first half, and then he went goose eggs, bro, in the second half. You cannot do that as a premier player in the NBA, and you're supposed to be the man. LeBron said for years,
bro, you're paid like you're the man. 3 years, $186 million.
And again, since they won the COVID championship, which is still legitimate in my book.
It is
they had times where AD specifically just goes ghost. And that can happen.
Six Flags.
The other players that we picked up had 17, they had 15. That's commendable points. But when you go ghost in a half, I don't even know how many minutes he played in the second half. I could tell you one point, even a free throw. I'm at least drawing a foul, getting a free throw, you know, in one half. And for you to be a premier player and not score, that can't happen.
It can't happen.
No one can take you serious after you guys are saying all these comments about, we're looking good. Now, they weren't at full strength, right? But neither was Denver. So
no.
The excuses just are going to pile up at this point. Yes, it's game one of the season, but there's a long season to go. But they're going to need to figure out Anthony Davis about him playing the center, not playing the center, and just playing and giving the effort. Where's the effort at? You got to try. I don't even know if he got any fouls, like on the defensive side, but like you're not feared.
He had one rebound in the first half.
You're not feared.
That's effort. Rebounds are effort. I mean, I don't know how to explain that. You're a center slash power forward, and you get one rebound in the first half.
it's disappointing. They were in Denver. It was their ring ceremony. If there was any time for them to prove a point, it was that time. They can always prove some stuff later.
It ain't gonna mean as much now.
And moving. No, yeah, you're right. But it was their time to shine. And
to rain on their parade.
Literally.
Right.
But now, because of that, the Who's Your Daddy chants are going to continue.
The whole year.
Until they can get a W.
I don't even know if they can, bro. Like, watching that game was so frustrating. I mean, there's so many things to take account for, not even just the AD thing. Because at this point, you kind of have to expect that he's going to do that. I mean, it is what it is. Like, you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. Like, I'm not about to go insane over here. I have to expect that he's going to do this because he's done it too many times. Now, there's other stuff that the Lakers could have handled better. First off, LeBron, his minutes. They only allowed him to play 29 minutes. I understand the man is older, but there are some games you got to let him play. How he talked after the game, he meaning LeBron, you can tell he was a little upset about not being able to finish. Well, I wouldn't say not finish, but not being able to play more minutes to affect the outcome. Because from the jump, he was driving straight to that paint. He was every time he got the ball, he was just going straight to the rack. He was like, I don't care what y'all doing. I'm getting this ball in the basket, and I'm gonna make my presence felt. And you would think everybody would follow suit, because how they were playing 5-man out, the paint was wide open almost every time. The Joker is not a rim threat. Like, you can score on him in the paint. And Anthony Davis, like, you can score on him. You did it in the first half. Like, what were you doing? Like, man was asleep. This reminded me of that game when LeBron he passed Kareem, and he just started in cakewalk in the second half, like he was moping around.
Celebrating.
Yeah, I'm talking about AD. AD was just like acting like he wasn't a part of the game anymore. And they lost to OKC. Like, what kind of crap was that? So, I mean, it just reminded me of that. Another thing that I didn't really like was Austin Reeves. He played way too timid for me, especially in the first half. I didn't watch all the second half. I mean, because I'm pretty sure I fell asleep because I finished the game, but I think there was like a part of the third quarter I didn't watch. But for the whole first half, I wasn't seeing much from Austin Reeves, and he got paid as to be the third best player on the team. Like, he just wasn't there. I'm gonna give it to him. It's the first game won. You're in the defending champs' house. Like, there's a lot of intimidation there. But
see, the Lakers starting 5 too. It is completely different from the year previous. So Austin Reeves was a starter towards the end of the season last year, and right now they put Taurean Prince in there.
He started though.
Yeah, well, he's still a starter.
Yeah, Austin Reeves starting,
and so he should get starter minutes.
Right.
But Austin Reeves is the type of player that he's the type of guy that he's gonna fill in, like he's gonna do the things that other people don't do on the court. Right. Because everybody else is so worried about what it is that they think they have to do. And to me, like, of course, they're going to have to figure that out, especially with the new faces they brought in. But at the same time, as far as, I'll call it low management with the minutes for LeBron, I think it's a false thing, right? Like, I think LeBron and the Lakers talked about it, like, hey, for longevity, I'm going to have to play a certain amount of minutes. And when the game's close or whatever, the competitor in you should naturally be like, hey, I need to play. We need this W. But at the same time, like, you got to pick one or the other, man. And this is game 1. Okay, you're going to see them multiple times again in the year. Yes, they should have competed better, but it wasn't on LeBron.
And it's not the end of the world.
LeBron should have had, if Anthony Davis isn't scoring in the second half, then LeBron should have had more points, regardless of minutes.
Right.
And then I want to point out that Joker had a triple-double. And, I mean, what
Jamal
are they going to
Murray.
figure out? When the Lakers used to play, they need to figure out him. Because when the Lakers used to play the Nuggets, the Joker wasn't getting triple-doubles.
No.
He had a hard time scoring on AD for the first couple years after 2020.
Yeah. Not anymore. Now it's a cakewalk.
Like, not anymore. Now, they figured him out, and so they need to do some type of adjustment because
What was Vanderbilt? Is he still hurt? Yeah,
He was
okay.
hurt. He was out.
Yeah, I think that was huge because he could have locked up Murray a lot better than what they had out there. He was doing whatever he wanted. Murray, they had Kevin Porter Jr. was doing whatever he wanted. They had freaking.
Well, see, that's the thing.
They got players, bro.
They're deep, man.
They are deep.
The Nuggets are deep, but so are the Lakers. But defensive wise, I don't know how you shut that down. That's another high scoring game.
Yeah.
I think they were in the 120s, high 120s, 130s. So it is what it is. I'm still excited for the rest of the year. It's hard as a fan to not take this one down,
Right.
But at the same time,
because you got to go through
it's still
them.
a long season. We'll see what happens.
You're not good anywhere unless you get through the Nuggets. I mean, it is what it is. Unless you hope somebody else takes them out first,
or if they get injured.
Right. That's the only thing you can pray for at this moment. So again, that's all for the Contender segment. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
Let's go ahead and move it on to Functioning Org, AJ.
Functioning Org, VA. We're gonna jump straight into it. I'm gonna list a topic. You let me know what's on the first of your mind. When I tell you Philadelphia 76ers.
Distrust the process. That's what I'm going with. Because that total process has been a sham. I feel like everybody that's been a part of it has been not truth tellers, but like freaking Miss Cleo's over here, because they saying one thing, but behind doors they doing another. It has been a train wreck over there, from Ben Simmons to Markelle Fultz to James Harden. Before James Harden, to Jimmy Butler when he was there, they messed that up. To James Harden, and now it could end up leading to Joel Embiid. The whole process is just been overturned. They need to fire everybody. Starting with Daryl Morey. He should have never got up in there with the power he got. I don't understand why they didn't keep Elton Brand in the position he was in. He was doing just fine to me.
Yeah.
It's been atrocious. More importantly, James Harden has been atrocious. But again, I treat him like I treat AD. It's to be expected at this point. This man cares about nothing but himself. He is a complete narcissist. He has no kind of regard for other people's feelings or organizations, what they're trying to accomplish. He could give two F's about it. He literally showed up to the plane because they were going somewhere. He's like a freaking kid who's trying to catch the party bus after
on vacation.
Right, after being on punishment for 2 weeks. Like, bruh, take your butt back home. Like, you didn't come to practice.
And stay there.
Exactly. You was not here for preseason. You was nowhere to be found. Go back home. We're going to figure out this later, but you're not making this trip with us because you're already messing up the team's energy, our synergy. Like, this man is just acting a fool. But, I mean, honestly, I cannot expect anything other than that when it comes to this organization at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. First thing that comes to mind for me is pretty much what you summed up, but it's a circus. And that's because all the clowns running around there doing their clown things. James, we've already talked about him in the past, but I mean, he's going to do what he needs to do to get where he wants to go for him.
Right.
And, the NBA started allowing that a few years back, so that's something they need to figure out to put a stop to. But bigger thing is that if you're the franchise, if you're the 76ers, and you continue to have the man around, just tell him, you know what, regardless of money or whatever, you sit him out. You don't allow him to come to practices.
Facts.
Because you know what you're going to get. He's going to come sometimes. He's going to I'm here to go. No, you handle the situation as an organization and be like, look, man, until you figure out you are in 100% or not, you stay behind and
stay home.
You are on sick leave.
Right.
Sick leave, bro. And use your vacation time or whatever that you have accumulated, and we won't pay you but you're not allowed to come due to team conduct or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's messing up the whole organization. On top of that, they're talking about potential trades and this and that for Joel Embiid coming off an MVP season.
Right.
That's what's even worse. They just had the MVP, right? And now they are looking at a total rebuild. It's tough to look at from a business standpoint. It's tough to look at from a fan's point of view, and it's tough to look at as being a former teammate of somebody.
Right.
Because how could you do your team like that and then expect, the relationship when you do come back to be all good?
I don't know how they keep it separate. Apparently they do though. I mean, they be going out together, going to parties, and anytime they do interviews, they're like, James, like, whatever he got going on between him and the organization. But like, bruh, he's on purposefully trying to sabotage the season. How are you still cool with this man?
I don't get it. I didn't know that, but at the end of the day, that's not how I operate.
Right.
Like, if for some reason that I am butting heads with somebody, or there's dislike in between us two, I'm just not gonna deal with you.
Facts.
There's no reason to at that point. Even if it's my job, yes, I show up and it's my job and I gotta do what I gotta do. But I'm doing what I gotta do. If you're not doing what you ain't gotta do, I ain't dealing with you.
Right.
I don't want you to come over here and be part of the team because you're not part of the team. At the end of the day, it's a circus. Yeah. Clown shoes for everybody. Matter of fact, about the clown shoes, Joel Embiid too just signed with Skechers. So that's why I was like, what? I didn't even know they made basketball shoes, but apparently they're gonna start making size 21s for this dude or whatever he wears. But anyways,
what?
The 76ers,
he was with the Under Armour.
They need to get it together. Yep, not no more.
What the?
But anyway, 76ers dismantled.
Right.
No protection for them at all. They're going to have to do a rebuild from the entire organization to get things going on the right track.
And the way Daryl Morey is, he's not trying to do that. He's trying to get another all-star caliber player out of this trade. And I just don't see how you'll be able to do that. Of course, if he trades Joel Embiid, he will. But for James Harden, you're not going to hardly get nothing, bro. The Clippers don't want him.
Well, he's going to try. Exactly. He's going to try that, but everybody knows that James' value is on the decline because they know he doesn't want to be there. They're not going to keep him. So they're going to get some kind of discounted rate. They're not going to offer up a premium pick, or they're not going to offer up another all-star. No. And if they do, they're bozos. Yeah, no.
I mean, Clippers wouldn't even give up Terrence Mann, bro. Like, this man is not 23. He's like 27. 26, 27.
I mean, he's been showing that he's a solid player, but I mean, he's not that top tier caliber.
Not at all. He's not even a top 150 player at this moment. I mean, just based on the rankings, he's not. And so for the Clippers to say we can't even give that man up, it's like it means they really don't really want him. And apparently, as of today, they backed out of the trade talks because they're trying to focus on the season now. And so I'm like, bro, I don't know what you're going to do.
As they should have. They should have done that from the get-go.
Why was they even talking with him? Why would you want him in that circus? You already got Kawhi, Paul George, freaking Westbrook. Why would you add Harden to that?
Man.
Why? Just, no. Yeah.
Moving to the next one. I'm functioning or VA. When I say the Texas Rangers.
Hey. First thing coming to mind when you say Texas Rangers is, you know that song? I can't think of who it's by, but it goes, I get knocked down, but I get up again. Never ever gonna keep me down. I get knocked down.
Yeah, that's funny. They've been knocked down for a while.
They have.
Bro, so.
I mean, they have been a roller coaster of a franchise. I don't even know if they were knocked
down, but they ain't been standing up.
Right. Like, it's been a roller coaster for them because I remember graduating college, coming back 2010, 2011, they were awesome. went to back-to-back championship, World Series, back-to-back, lost both of them, couldn't even get, which was devastating. But then after that, just went into this 10 years time frame of like not really being that relevant, players moving in and out. It was a total collapse after that. And then slowly just came back, got their way back right. Last year they were pretty good. They made the playoffs last year. This year started off amazing. I was like, okay, it looked like they might have some momentum. All of a sudden, they just started blowing it out of the water in the playoffs. Just really a breakout season for Adonis Garcia, won ALCS MVP. Man was magnificent in that Astros series. Had a home run, I think at each time at bat, either home run or he had he got on base, like in ground hits. It just was, in park hits. It just was an amazing. I guess that would have been a semifinal series to watch. It was just, Astros have been dominant for so long. And being someone who literally lives down the street from Texas Rangers, to be able to finally beat them was, oh my gosh, it was like David versus Goliath. Getting over that hump alone was just so big, because I'm just so tired of Houston Astros with they cheating selves. Like, it's a freaking Jose Altuve, man. Altuve is just a monster. He's like the mini-me monster that just won't leave you alone. He just, whenever you needed a hit, he was there. And I just did not see them, after losing 3 in a row to them at home, I just didn't see them coming back out. And they won 2 in a row to close out the series. I just think that this is their year. The Arizona is another Cinderella story that shouldn't even been in the playoffs. They squeaked in and they just have been awesome. But I just feel like the Rangers, if they can keep their composure, they can finally get over that hump and get their first ring.
Yeah, that's a pretty good outlook on things. The first thing comes to my mind is everything's bigger in Texas.
Right.
And I'm only saying that the Astros were there, the Rangers were there. It was a battle of Texas. And it was a battle of Texas that was won by one side for years. So when I look at it now, right, like you said, it's an underdog story or a Cinderella story. And now that the whole World Series as a whole is going to be that. And I wonder if it's going to bring more fans to the game and watch, like who's going to get the championship, right? Because the big dogs, the Dodgers, the Braves,
first time
Phillies,
the Astros and Dodgers haven't been in it since forever, like 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. But at the end of the day, I'm happy for the Rangers because they, like you said, they haven't been there. They've been there, but they haven't completed it.
Right.
And so being a native Texan, I'm rooting for them to win, obviously. Right. But at the end of the day, so is everybody else with the whole Cinderella story. Right.
I don't remember the last time Arizona Diamondbacks been there either. Been a long time for them.
I don't think it's been probably years. Right. I want to say like late 90s, early 90s. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how it folds out. I wonder if the big bats have been hitting for them are going to be able to continue, right? It's always a hit or miss type of deal. So we'll see.
Yeah, but I'm excited too. This is one that I've been waiting for, and I think this is their year. I think they have the experience. They've tasted the just being there, especially last year being in the playoffs, and so I think their team is ready finally. So we'll see though. Either way, it's going to be a great World Series, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more people watching.
Right.
Just because the big names aren't
exactly.
There. See like what's going to happen. Exciting. So last on functioning or VA, we got not only WNBA, but what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the Aces?
Las Vegas Aces. I'm gonna have to say. I'm trying to think of the best way to put this.
You scared?
No. I'm gonna have to keep it simple. I'm gonna have to go with Shaq and Kobe dominance. What year was that? Was it 04 Lakers? Oh no, 01 through 04 was when they got that run. They had back to back.
No,
the three-peat. The
last one was in
the three-peat.
It was in 01.
That was in 01 the three-peat. Dang, we getting old. Yeah. So I'm gonna say 01 Lakers is what comes to mind, man, because honestly, they really have a chance to three-peat. They are so stacked.
Which is huge.
It's huge, bro.
People don't understand.
That's
a
hard
crazy
to
dominance.
do. It is very hard to do, and just for a two-peat, that hasn't happened in I think over 10 years in the WNBA. So it happened this year, and then they won it without one of the best players, without their Kobe. Like, she went down in game, I think 2 or 3, and they still won. They still pulled it out. Like, that team is stacked from Chelsea Gray to Chelsea Plum to Asia Wilson's to Alicia Clark, who stepped in the clutch whenever Alicia Gray got hurt. They got just some stars, man, on that team, and I'm at a point where it's like, I really thought the Liberty, it would have been their year, the way they were playing this in this whole entire playoffs. But it's just, in the back of my mind, I knew that it's just hard to beat the Aces 3 times. Like, you just cannot do it. All year they have been dominant. They've barely lost 7 games, I think, if that. Like,
yeah, they are crazy good.
It's ridiculous.
A big thing for me, right, is the players are getting the credit. Becky Hammond's there doing her thing, but they are a star-studded team.
Yes.
They really are. And when you look at the Liberty...
And Candace Parker, bro, didn't even play this year. Got hurt. Like, if she come back next year, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that until you just said that. But... They got Stewie, Brianna Stewart on the other side.
Yep.
They got INSQ. They're both solid. I mean, they got the Steph and the KD on the other side of the other team. You know, so it's like, geez.
INSQ ain't no joke, and neither is Stewie, bro. She got the freaking MVP this year.
Yeah, and she's solid.
She is.
But the girls' game, man, I'm really glad to see, especially now that I have a daughter and wanting to bring her up in the world of sports, that the women's game is being not overlooked like it used to when they were building the WNBA. And it is on the right path, and the girls that are in these teams, they're doing the right thing to set up for the future. But yeah, the Aces, for me, I didn't give my word, but I'm going to go ahead and say a dynasty, because it's tracking that way, and just a repeat is a big accomplishment, but a three-peat, we're talking big.
Right.
So, I mean, it is a long way from now, but shoot, even with the players that they have coming back from injury, like Candace Parker, we getting old, she getting old, but at the same time, she's still going to ball out too. She's going to bring that mentorship, that veteran player status, and that's probably one of the reasons why Asia Wilson is being able to do what she can on top of her own greatness.
Right.
So
facts.
We're wrapping up Functioning Org, man. We're gonna bringing it to the last portion of the epi.
Yes, sir.
With All in the Family. Go ahead and kick it off.
So this episode's All in the Family segment is going to cross over a little bit. This person not only is a musical artist, but they are definitely an ambassador in the NBA. So I think it's still fitting. We got Drake and his son Adonis. Adonis, I think, is 5 or 6 years old. Just recently dropped his first single. I'm not sure of the title, but I just know that the hook is something like my man's, something about my man's. I don't know. It's a little catchy though, I ain't gonna lie. The song in itself is very basic. It definitely sounds like a 5 or 6 year old wrote it, which I like. I don't like when your lyrics sound like someone else wrote it for you, or you sound older than what you really are. So respect to Drake for letting him write his own stuff. The reason why I really wanted to talk about this in this segment is because I feel like he's keeping it all in the family. He's following in Kris Jenner's footsteps and getting that kid ready for an early, workload. Like you want that new car, you're gonna have to work for it starting now. like you want
that's for sure.
Bruh, you gonna make your own money. And I mean, I kind of respect it. I mean, dude might be famous and rich, but he's like, yo, you can go out there and earn it the same as I did. Like, you got even more opportunities than I did at this age. You got a huge advantage. The biggest rapper in the world is your dad. Like, I'm gonna make sure you're straight. Mm-hmm. But it seems like it comes from a genuine place. Like, there's even a video out. He already got a music video. Like, the boy Adonis, he looks dead serious when he's rapping. Like, he looks like this is his persona. Like, he really enjoys it. You can tell he definitely looks up to his dad being a rapper. He even performed it at his birthday party. It was so cute. They had him on stage rapping the song, and he had all his little friend posse up there. All these little kids rapping it with him. And I think that it's, some people might see it as like, child exploitation, but I think it's just, a dad doing what dads do, which is letting their kid live out whatever their dream is. And he's like, hey, if you happen to be able to make money at it, we might as well do it. So be it, right? Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't heard of this, right, until we just discussed it. But to me, that's probably the biggest outlook on it. As a parent, you want your kids to be happy and doing what it is that they're doing. And as long as he kept it 6 years old. Right. I wonder if that was on purpose too, because Drake with the whole 6 and
right. 6
years old. Yeah, I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Maybe I'm looking into it too much, but the parent aspect of it and letting them do what they want to do and what they enjoy, right. and the kids knowing, okay, that's what my dad does, and so I want to be like him, right. And so that is a big deal. Looking to it on the business side of things, and I'm only bringing this up because it's basically devil's advocate, is Will Smith and his daughter Willow. She went out there, she wanted to do the whole I'm gonna make a song thing, and I'm gonna do the tour thing, right. And I forgot she went on some tour and she's like, I don't want to do this no more. And they're like, you getting out there doing this tour, girl, because you got to. You done already committed to it. And so I hope that it's not a parent-driven thing, and hopefully that his son at this stage is able to actually enjoy it and not be overkill, to not hate it because it's something that he's being driven into at such a young age. But I do commend him as a parent for doing it, which I also think it's super random that Drake was specifically being got onto because he didn't mention his kid. Right. He didn't mention his life. And then now all of a sudden he's all Daddy 2000, So I wonder if that's him just growing as a dad, or if it's because, now it's exposed, I might as well run with it type of thing.
Right. So you never really know with that, especially with celebrities. You don't know if they're doing it for the camera or if it's really genuine.
Right.
But
that's my outtake on it. Kudos for him for, having that moment with his kid and then trying to better him and do things that he's interested in.
Right. Yeah, that's what I agree. Man, nice episode, man. It was great topics. Sure. Really glad we got to do this one today.
Me too, because I almost didn't.
Right. Hey, I'm telling y'all, it's an effort to get this done. Not that we don't want to, but it's a lot of life going on to be trying to pull us away from this mic. But I mean, I always enjoy it.
God did.
Right. God did. We gonna get it done.
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah, man. As always, VA.
As always.
You know what it is.
It's all fun and games.
Fun and games.
You get called in the HR.
You get called in the HR.
Till next time.
All right.
Peace.